instead of starting this off as the Creatures of the Night podcast, because that's what it is, and I'm Wendy.
And I'm Chris, and this is our lovely Paranormal Podcast.
Yay, welcome. Now, little sidestep here. We're going to go into Pet Mom Podcast, just real quick. To share this with everyone, I've spent all day cleaning. I know you did too.
Yeah.
Then I go, I've got 30 minutes before liftoff, before we have to start recording. And I was like, I look like dog shit. So I jump in the shower because I want to beautify myself for you.
I was going to tell you that when we first started, your hair does look really good.
Oh,
I don't know if it's darker.
No, I blow dried it. It just really loves that attention. Normally, I'm just like, wet hair, don't give a shit, put it in a bun. Because we have headphones on and stuff. Plus, I'm just looking at you. I mean.
Which I don't. I did not beautify myself. My hair is up in like what my coworkers call a man bun, which I understand what a man bun is, but I'm a woman. So I have really short hair. So I can only pull up pieces of it. It is rude. But it's funny because it is kind of like the man bun. But yeah, so I've got it pulled up. I didn't do shit with it. It's messy. And I have my headphones on. So what does it matter? Well, I have a story for you. I don't know if you were done telling your spiel.
Let me tell you real quick. I jump in the shower, but I had been cleaning all day. So I pulled the towels down from the shower and put them in the washing machine to wash them. So now I'm in the shower and there's no fucking towel. No big deal. My two kids actually happen to be grounded. So they're in yelling distance and I could ask them to bring me a towel. So I yell for both of them. Somebody shows up with a towel and then great, right? I start to dry myself off, and then I realize that there's dog hair all over my body.
Pet Mom Podcast.
So I'm like, what the fuck? And I just cleaned the house. So I'm like, where was there a towel that we were like wiping the dogs off with? It hasn't rained in I don't know how long. So I yell back for the kid to be like, where the hell did you get this towel? And go get me another one so I can rinse off. But they don't come this time. I don't know where they've gone. I mean, they can't get that far. And then I just decide, I love my dogs and my cat. I bear hug them all the time. What's some dog hair on my body? And it was like, okay, I guess I don't care. Until I got to like the lady parts area. And then I was like, oh wait, actually we're not that close. So, so I just kind of air dried, ran and got a new towel, rinsed off all that jazz. But yeah.
Wow.
So if you see any pieces of dog hair left on me, it's normal. It's not a big deal.
I can't see you all that well. The Skype thing is a little grainy, so
Good.
You're okay. But
I shouldn't even bother to shower.
Does it itch? Are you like itchy now because of all the dog hair?
No. Okay. I mean, like I said, I feel like I have dog hair all over me all the fucking time anyways.
Yeah.
Dog, cat hair, whatever. Just, it's floating in the air all throughout this house.
Sure. I totally get it. I have the same situation. I washed a bunch of blankets this week because the cats do nothing but lay on them and the blankets start to stink. So I was fluffing them out and realized how desperately I needed to vacuum because when I fluffed that blanket, it was like tumbleweeds of hair.
Yeah.
Like animals that have appeared that I didn't even know existed. All this hair. I was like, good, disgusting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pet probs, we've got them. That's for sure.
But I just love them so much.
I know. I don't. I can give you mine. No, I'm just kidding. So I was going to tell you a story, but I think I'm going to save it because, as usual, I've written a very long story.
Oh my God. I was going to ask you, I think when I was in the shower, isn't that when you have all your good thoughts? I was like,
yes.
I've got nothing to tell her but this dog hair story because my life is just that boring. So I was like, maybe I should just ask her in the very beginning. We introduce the podcast and then I say, do you have a long ass story? Should we just get to it?
You probably should because I had a couple of stories that I was planning on doing, but none of them were long enough to create an episode on. So instead, I just go and find like one story that I can do that might take us a couple of hours to get through. I don't know. Why not? Let's just do that. So anyways, I'm just going to cut it off there with real life stuff and just go right on into it if you're ready.
Oh, yeah. Paranormal stuff is way better than real life stuff. Nobody gives a shit about my dog hair body.
Oh, dog hair body Wendy. Do you want to go to a haunted hotel?
Always.
I already wrote down your answer, so I knew exactly what you were going to say. I think that a phrase similar to the one that I just said that really jump-started us as a paranormal team to go out looking for answers to the unknown many, many years ago was similar to that, only it was more like, hey, Chris, want to go to the graveyard? Well, by now,
me
we've actually
foaming at the mouth. Yes.
Yes, and me just like in shock, like, oh my God, how come nobody's asked me that yet?
I waited all my life for this.
Yes, let's go. Well, by now we've become more aware of the infinite number of haunted locations, and some of them actually have pretty comfortable surroundings, which makes it way easier to stay up, investigate throughout the night, and then hop right on into bed. Now we can do that.
Yeah. It was a little rough in the beginning.
It took a while to get to that point. That's for sure. However, when you're staying at places like the Cecil Hotel, with its extensive dark past and hauntings, you might find it a little difficult to do any actual sleeping.
I don't know a whole bunch about the Cecil Hotel, but I agree with that statement.
I am so relieved, Wendy, that you said that, because like I just knew you've already researched the shit out of this place. It's behind you on like 40 stacks of pieces of paper.
No.
Double-sided print.
I've heard this and that story. Like it doesn't just have one story, but I've always heard them in pieces. I've never like, bam, like you're about to give me, I'm sure, a whole list of reasons why this is a terrifying place. But I can't help but also just be a little concerned about I don't know, I don't want to sound like I'm some little tiny country girl or anything like that, but it's in this big city with like so much action always going on. And I think with that element of who's wandering the hallway that isn't a ghost, and then also the ghost on top of it and stuff like that, just all of that would put me on like hyper alert.
It should. Some of the people that have stayed there are pretty notorious, and I will get into that. Yeah, this is one crazy place. Just let that go. I don't know if you could hear any screaming. That was my husband. On to the Cecil Hotel, which is in Los Angeles. It was constructed in 1924 as a destination for business travelers and tourists. And I know I said like a couple podcasts ago that I was either going to stay in Los Angeles for a little bit, and now I'm going to stay away from it. I just cannot stay away from Los Angeles with these stories. Here I am again, back in Los Angeles. So
California is just full. I love California, and it's just there's all these big cities with so much going on. There's so much dark history, and it's also just really pretty. So
both of those things, which is like things that we both enjoy, pretty stuff and haunted shit.
Yeah. I want to go take a hike in the mountains, and then I want to look for demons.
I love this. Might be the place to go for that sort of thing. The hotel cost $1 million to complete and initially had 700 rooms.
Shit. And that's a lot of, that's $1 million in 1924. Holy fuck.
Yeah. You're right. Exactly. By the way, the average hotel only has about 115 rooms. So this was like a monster. The hotel has a grand marble lobby and stained glass windows, potted palms, and alabaster statuary. No expense was spared during the building of this hotel.
Obviously.
I so desperately did not even want to tell you that little fact, but I had to, because when I was watching videos of people who've actually been to the hotel, this one lady said that it seemed almost like a front. Like this hotel, when you walk in, it's got this like grand entryway, but it seems like it's like a cover up to something. And I bet they had to leave it there because it's part of the history for the hotel. And I'll get into that a little bit more later on too. But however, within 5 years of its opening, the United States sank into the Great Depression. Though the hotel flourished as a fashionable destination through the 40s, the decades beyond saw the hotel decline. The nearby area known as Skid Row became overpopulated with transients by the 1950s, and the hotel had gained a reputation as a residence for those transients.
Mm.
Yeah. As the area where the Cecil Hotel is located began to decline, many violent deaths on the premises became a common occurrence. Throughout the 40s and the 50s, suicides at the Cecil occurred so often that by the 1960s, longtime residents had begun to call the Cecil the Suicide.
Damn.
No, I would probably try to find another place to live if I was calling that place, I'm going to go home to the Suicide. It's like one of those things.
Well, I'm going to suspect that a hotel of that size that's trying to stay afloat in harsh times is probably lowering their fucking rates and standards. So these people probably couldn't afford to go anywhere else.
Yeah, there was a lot of homeless people in the area. So, they were taking in all sorts of people.
Yeah. Also, we've been to hotels before that there's people living there opposed to it being a strict hotel. They have like 4 rooms for actual, people just stopping in. And then the rest are one-room apartments, just like a bed and whatnot. And that's just them trying to keep the building open. So,
well, you have a good idea of where, how this hotel kind of is. It's the same sort of situation. There's a lot of people that are actually living in this place.
Yeah.
So while researching my story, I came across the names of 18 different individuals that either committed suicide, died under mysterious circumstances, or for other reasons had strange ties to the hotel. Of those 18 names, I decided to briefly tell you about just a few of them because there's like name suicide. So I'll go with the ones that actually have some details to them. So Dorothy Jean Purcell, she was only 19 years old when she woke up out of her sleep with severe stomach pains in September of 1944. She was staying at the Cecil Hotel at the time with Ben Levine, who was 38.
Whoa.
I'm not going to judge, whatever. She got up quietly because he was sleeping in the bed next to her and carefully made her way to the bathroom. She thought she was going to get sick, but to her surprise, she gave birth to a baby boy.
What? I guess it's not shocking. I could see how you could ignore your body or your body doesn't do. I'm a woman. I get it. It's very confusing. It does whatever the fuck it wants, it seems like. I just can't imagine what it's like for them. They're like, oh God, man, what did I eat?
Right.
I think I'm constipated. Oh, I gotta go. And then a life pops out of your body. You gotta be ready for those kind of things.
You should. Yeah, exactly. And that's not the situation here because like I said, she was surprised that this happened. She had no idea. And like you said, you hear stories of this sort of thing happening all the time. So this is one of those stories because she was completely shocked and had no idea that she had been pregnant. After Dorothy delivered the baby alone, she thought that he was a stillborn. She freaked out and tossed the baby's body out of the window. The newborn landed on a roof of a neighboring building where it was later discovered. Dorothy was charged with homicide, but a jury found her not guilty by reason of insanity. So she went to a hospital for psychiatric treatment.
Okay, that sounds fair. Like at first I was about to tell you how mad I am at her because she's full of shit. The whole stillborn thing. I mean, you don't have I don't think you would throw it out the window. That was like in shock, I think. Reaction, cannot accept, got to get rid of, in my opinion. I feel like there would have been a more peaceful discarding of the body had you just thought, oh, the baby didn't make it. Not throwing it out the damn window. So, but I can also see how that drives you fucking insane. So, the fact that she went to a mental institution, plus in those days, they weren't that fun.
That's what I was thinking. How situation ended up happening for her, I'm sure it wasn't a good one either way.
Yeah.
Clearly shouldn't have done what she did. She freaked out and they basically said, yeah, she's nuts. So they locked her up in a insane asylum, I assume, there in Los Angeles. The 40s. I'm sure that was good. Anyways, next lady I have for you, she went by the name Pigeon Goldie Osgood. They called her the Pigeon Lady. I'm not really sure why, because I didn't look into it. I don't know if she kept pigeons. I would assume so with a nickname like that. Maybe she looked like a pigeon. I don't know. I hope not.
That's mean.
It is mean, she seemed like a really great gal. So maybe it wasn't the look. Maybe it was just that she was big into birds. She was a retired telephone operator. She had, and you know what, it kind of reminds me of Home Alone. You remember the lady that Kevin McAllister runs into?
Yeah.
Just the birds. So it kind of reminds me of her. She had been well known and was a well-liked long-term resident at the hotel. In 1964, she was found dead in her room. She had been raped, stabbed, and beaten, and her room was ransacked. A man named Jacques B. Ellinger was charged with her murder, but he was later cleared, and her death remains unsolved.
What?
Yeah, that's bad, because she seemed like a pretty lovely lady, from everything I could tell.
They had one suspect, and that's it, and then...
done.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And so that was 1964. Now I'm going to move on to a little creepy factoid that you might already know. I plucked this one out of the stack. But in addition to the suicides or deaths that the Cecil has become so well known for, perhaps most infamously, serial killer Richard Ramirez, nicknamed the Night Stalker, took up residency at the hotel in the 80s. Oh, this guy was a creep.
Mega creep.
Mega creep. Ramirez had been a regular presence in the Skid Row area of Los Angeles, but according to a hotel clerk who claims to have spoken to him, he was rumored to have stayed at the Cecil for a few weeks. Ramirez may have engaged in part of his killing spree while he was staying there. Man, I watched a clip from YouTube on him when he was already, captured for his crimes, talking about how he was initially put away for 13 murders, and as he was in jail, he was still racking them up. Like he got another, he was then convicted of another murder, so then it was 14. And he's just like, I'm evil, and then he's like, doesn't all of us have a little bit of evil in us? Just a weird guy. Total creep. And then...
like that justifies him murdering so many people?
Yeah, that was his justification. And then, everyone was so happy that he was captured that they, had a street party. Everybody in L.A. just flooded the streets partying because this guy was off the streets, just because he had terrorized them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I totally get it. And I felt, great when I was watching that video, because it was one of those things where, man, I kind of wish I was there. Now that he's caught, not during that time. But, anyways, since I'm dishing out creepy factoids, in 1991, Austrian journalist and convicted serial killer Jack Unterweger also took up residence at the Cecil. While he was allegedly working as a crime writer, he used his police access as a crime writer to pick out victims, murdering 3 women in Los Angeles before leaving LA and continuing to murder elsewhere. He was eventually caught in 1992. And he hanged himself shortly after his conviction. So, bye-bye, creepy Jack Unterweger.
There was just a weird light right in front of you.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Did your screen, did it change at all?
No, I'm only watching you. I don't see me at all.
But I mean, you didn't have, something else pop up or anything like that. That's weird. Okay.
That is weird. Yeah, that's weird. There's been some weird things going on here. So the whole reason I was actually keyed into this hotel to begin with, but is not the reason I'm telling my story. In 1947, Elizabeth Short, otherwise known as the Black Dahlia, was rumored to have stayed at the hotel and was even spotted drinking at the Cecil's bar just days before her notorious end and to date unsolved murder. Then, in 2011, the Cecil Hotel was rebranded as Stay on Main. It was later sold in 2014 for $30 million.
Which sounds fair, because it was $1 million in 20...
The 20s,
no, what?
Yeah.
No, yeah, in the 20s. Let's say that. That's not what I was about to accidentally say, but... Where are we?
Oh, it's okay. And a New York-based firm acquired a 99-year lease on the property. They wanted to preserve the architecture and historically significant components, such as that super fancy grand lobby. But this company planned to completely redevelop the interior and fix the hodgepodge mess of work that had been done in more recent years. Somebody else bought it a couple years before that, and they tried to fix it up, but it was a mess. Beyond renovating rooms, the developer also planned to add a rooftop pool, gym, and lounge. Not bad for a haunted hotel, huh?
Oh, I love that. Who doesn't want to like swim and see some ghosts hanging out by the pool with you or something?
Yeah, I think that could happen here. If they ever got to that pool, I'm not sure. I know that the Stay on Main is open. I just don't know if that rooftop pool ever made it into the equation. So now, in 2013, the Cecil, or Stay on Main, became the focus of renewed attention when a young Canadian student, Elisa Lam, was found dead. Elisa Lam had traveled alone to California on January 26th. And after 2 days, she checked into the Cecil Hotel. She was initially assigned a shared room on the hotel's 5th floor. However, after 2 days, she was moved into her own separate room. I did read that the hotel had many long-term boarding rooms that were more like apartments, and they also had hostel-like boarding. So even though I would have been like held to the no, she might have been more accepting of this procedure because maybe she had already been aware of it going into the whole thing. I have no idea. But 700 rooms and you got to bunk me with somebody else? Maybe it was just super cheap that way. I don't know.
How many fucking people are in this hotel? That's a nope for me. It's too crowded.
2 complete strangers. No, I would totally not be down with that.
They have some good ass deals with those hostels, though.
That's true. They do. So I assume that that's what was going on for her. She was 20. Like I said, she was a college kid.
Living life. Who cares? Like, let's just see what happens. I might meet somebody I'm going to be lifelong friends with. That didn't happen for her, though.
As a matter of fact, that didn't happen because the body of Elisa Lam was recovered from a water tank atop the Cecil Hotel on February 19th, 2013. She had been reported missing at the beginning of the month, and maintenance workers at the hotel discovered her body when investigating guest complaints of problems with the water supply. Her disappearance had been widely reported. Interest had increased 5 days prior to her body's discovery when the LAPD released a very strange video of the last time she was known to have been seen alive. This video shook the community, and explanations for what they saw ranged from claims of the paranormal involvement to her bipolar disorder, which Lam had suffered. The circumstances of Lam's death, once she was found, raised so many questions, especially in the light of the Cecil's history in relation to other notable deaths and murders. 12, in fact, that I did not even tell you about. Her body was found naked, with most of her clothes and personal effects floating in the water near her. It took the LA County Coroner's Office 4 months to release the autopsy report, which reports no evidence of physical trauma and originally stated that the manner of death was accidental. Guests at the Cecil sued the hotel over the incident, and Lam's parents even filed a separate suit later that year, which was dismissed in 2015. Some of the early internet interests noted what were considered to be very unusual similarities between Lam's death and the 2005 horror film Dark Water. And this is why I was a little confused. Have you seen this movie?
No.
Okay. In that film, which is an American remake of an earlier Japanese film of the same name, it's based on a 1996 short story. A mother and daughter move into a rundown apartment building. A dysfunctional elevator and discolored water gushes from the building's faucets, eventually leading them to the building's rooftop water tank, where they discover the body of a girl who had been reported missing from the building a year earlier. Jennifer Connelly plays the main character. Her name is Dahlia.
Oh.
I know. And her daughter is Cece. Talk about a spooky coincidence, right? Because the Cecil Hotel and Dahlia is her name. And all of this took place before this incident with Elisa Lam took place. So creepy, right? Yeah. Lam had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. She had been prescribed 4 medications to treat her disorders. According to her family, who supposedly kept her history of mental illness a secret, she had no history of suicidal thoughts or attempts. In a January 2012 blog post, Lam lamented that a relapse at the start of her current school term had forced her to drop several classes, leaving her feeling, quote, so utterly directionless and lost. She titled her post, "You're always haunted by the idea you're wasting your life."
Yeah.
After a quote.
Sorry. I just can relate.
She was only like 21 here. I mean, that was pretty deep. And that's after a quotation from the novelist Chuck
Norris. Sorry.
Back when Chuck Norris was writing poetry.
I mean, he can do everything.
He probably murdered it. No, this guy's name is a tough one for me. Chuck Palahniuk. I think it's got an I-U-K at the end. So if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. A little over 2 years after Lam started blogging, she announced she would be abandoning her blog for another she started on Tumblr, which mostly consisted of fashion photos and quotes and a few of posts in Lam's own words. She continued to use the same Palahniuk quote that she used before.
Sounds good. I like it. Go with it.
Go with it. That's what I have to do that. That's a tough last name. Lam called her parents in British Columbia every day while she was traveling. On January 31st, 2013, the day she was scheduled to check out of the Cecil and leave for Santa Cruz, they did not hear from her, and they called the Los Angeles police, like right away. Police searched the hotel to the extent that they legally could. They searched Lam's room and had dogs go through the building, including the rooftop, but the canines were unsuccessful in detecting her scent. Sergeant Rudy Lopez said later, quote, "We didn't search every room. We could only do that if we had probable cause." Okay.
Right.
On February 6th, a week after Lam had been last seen, the LAPD decided more help was needed and posted flyers with her image in the neighborhood and online. Yet again, another week went by and still no sign of her. And on February 15th, the LAPD released the video of the last known sighting of her taken in one of the Cecil's elevators by a video surveillance camera on February 1st. I don't know why I'm so tongue twisted tonight. I'm having a real tough time with this one. Lots of words. In the clip, the camera at one of the elevator cab's rear corners is positioned to look down from the ceiling, providing a view not just of the interior, but also of the hallway outside. The video is somewhat grainy, and the timestamp at the bottom is completely obscured. Like, you can see that it's tick, 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 ticking away, but you can't read anything that's on there.
Well, that's a waste.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of conjecture as to why that was done. Some people seem to think that they took maybe had taken some pieces out of the video just to keep other people, from getting in trouble. But honestly, I've watched the video several times and I don't see the things that they say, like lapses in time. It looks like it's a very fluid, grainy video. This was in 2013, so the quality is actually pretty good for, I guess being a 2013 video camera. There's the little flicker of like the static kind of going up on the video every now and then, but otherwise you can pretty much see what's going on. At the start, Lam enters into the elevator and hunches over to select a floor, but it looks like she actually selects multiple floors because you can see the lights on, on the little triggers lighting up as she selects them. She moves to the back of the elevator and waits for a moment, though the door fails to close. She lurches forward and peers out into the elevator in both directions, then leans back against the corner of the elevator. The door remains open still, and this time she creeps up to the corner near the control panel, almost like she's attempting to not be seen. A few seconds go by, so she slowly steps up to the elevator door and stands there just looking out. Slowly, she steps out into the hallway and then jumps as if to startle someone that's standing there. But I don't know because you don't see anybody else. She backs up into the elevator again, then back into the hallway and against the wall just to the left of the elevator. The whole time, the door remains open.
What the fuck is wrong with this elevator?
I know. It stays open forever. For a moment, she is not seen, as she's just kind of like rocking back and forth or whatever. But then she comes back into view where she raises her arms to her head, seeming distressed or irritated or panicked. Like, what the hell? She stands there a few seconds longer before re-entering the elevator. With her hands on her head, she walks over to the control panel and pushes probably every last one of the buttons on the elevator control panel, and probably twice. Like, she's like everything. And she's there for a while, like pushing every button. She walks back out into the hallway and does something really strange. From the hallway, she stretches out both of her arms and hands and reaches around near the entrance of the elevator, like where the hallway goes into the elevator, and it looks like she's feeling for something there. But then she continues back into the hallway, and it looks like she's having a conversation with either herself or someone. She begins making hand symbols, maybe like she's counting or like she's cracking her thumbs in a weird way.
What?
She just erratic, strange behavior. She then puts her hands on her ears and walks away from the elevator. And that's when the door finally closes. And Elisa Lam is not seen again until her body is found in the water tank on the roof.
Now remind me, what floor was she on that this has happened? She's in the lobby?
I don't actually know what floor she was on when she was doing that. Also, I don't know if one of the buttons she hit was the button that keeps the elevator there. But, if you push that button, it doesn't stay there. It doesn't mean, okay, elevator, stay here for
ever
minutes. Right. It just pauses it. And had she pushed it when she first got in, because when she gets in, she pushes like 4 buttons in a row. She could have pushed it right then, but you would think that after a minute has gone by, the door would have fucking shut, and it doesn't. It just stays open until she walks away.
Yeah.
And like right after she walks away, the door shuts.
Like scene over.
Yeah. And then the video, of course, it's still recording, goes up to the next floor or down, whichever one she hit, and the door opens and closes. Goes to the next, the door opens and closes. Just smooth sailing. The elevator is not having any kind of problems. It's working properly. Probably had to go through every single one of those floors. So then there's the water. During the search for Lam, guests at the hotel began complaining about low water pressure. Some even claimed that the water was colored black and had an unusual taste. So earlier when I can remember, I know, can you imagine? Yeah.
So grody.
It is so grody. Yeah, so I mean, you could see why they sued the hotel. That's bad.
It's totally not the hotel's fault or anything, though, unless the hotel killed her, because it's just like a demon, like a giant demon building.
Yeah, the hotel is a giant demon building. I agree with that 100%.
That elevator definitely has it. I mean, like, it's got some issues.
It had some issues. Or it was a demon elevator. I mean, something seemed to have been holding it there. And, when you're watching, more than I do about watching videos for hours upon end, that you're staring at something that's not the, most clearest quality. And as you're watching it, you see those shapes sort of take place, and then you have to rewind it because you're like, okay, is it my brain? I've been watching this video for so long. Am I starting to see things, or is something actually happening there? And when you're watching that video, it's one of those situations where it's like, is there something else there that's sort of invisible? It's creepy. It's just creepy as fuck. So on the morning of February 19, Lam's body was found in one of 4 1,000-gallon tanks, which were providing water to guest rooms, a kitchen, and a coffee shop.
I didn't know that.
That's when Wendy would be like, I'm done. I can't even get my coffee. No.
I'm moving.
Moving. Done. The tank was drained and cut open since its maintenance hatch was way too small to accommodate equipment needed to remove Lam's body. On February 21st, the Los Angeles Coroner's Office issued a finding of accidental drowning with bipolar disorder as a significant factor. And as I mentioned earlier, her body had been found naked, but her and her clothing was coated in a sand-like particulate, and her watch and room key were also found there. Yeah, I don't know if that's something that would have been in the water tanks. I don't know why it would be if that's the water tank that's providing water to everybody. Like, why would there be a sand-like particulate in there?
What is that?
Yeah. What is that exactly?
Like a softener?
Maybe.
We have a water softener because our water's hard in Arizona. I didn't think California had that issue, but it also doesn't make sand, but I'm sure it puts particles in the water.
Well, and her body being there probably, ignited some kind of,
reaction. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, some kind of reaction. I didn't find any more on that sand-like particulate. Lam's body was moderately decomposed and bloated. It was mostly greenish with some marbling evident on the abdomen and skin. There was no evidence of physical trauma, sexual assault, or suicide. Like I said earlier, toxicology tests incomplete because not enough of her blood was preserved, showing traces consistent with prescription medication found among her belongings, plus non-prescription drugs such as Sinutab and ibuprofen. A very small quantity of alcohol, about 0.02%, was present, but no other recreational drugs were found. Yeah. And I'm guessing that if they were able to find all of those other things, had she had ecstasy or something in her system, they would probably find that too. I say that because a lot of people immediately speculate that she was on drugs, but they were able to find Sinutab and ibuprofen in her system. So wouldn't they have found that too?
I'm sorry. Does ecstasy make you climb into a tub of water and put the lid on? I mean, like,
I'm glad that you mentioned that, Wendy.
Don't.
The investigation had determined how Lam died, but did not offer any explanation as to how she got into the tank in the first place.
Yeah. Not to mention her meltdown in front of the elevator. She's yelling and scared of someone. Pretty sure ecstasy doesn't make you paranoid of people. I don't know. I've never taken it before, but I think it's supposed to have the reverse effect, you know? You're supposed to like people at the time, or yourself and your body and whatever's going on. But it's not going to make you freak the fuck out and be terrified for your life.
I can say that different drugs do react differently.
You have personal experience? Is that what you're saying?
Not me personally, but someone I am extremely close to has. So I know that depending on the circumstance and whatever your stress level is and your emotional situation can greatly impact how you react when you are on different types of drugs.
Really?
So,
I did not know
yes. Does. And she was bipolar, but again, I think that they would have found evidence of some kind of drug in her system if they were able to find other evidences of other things.
Yeah, like the prescription drugs and the small alcohol content. So I'm certain they would have found if she had some other kind of. Aren't they supposed to stay in your system longer? Like you have to do hair tests on some of those instead of just normal blood tests and stuff?
Yeah, I agree with you. So doors and stairs that access the hotel's roof are locked, with only staff having the passcodes and keys. So any attempt to force them open would have supposedly triggered an alarm. So the only way she could have gotten up there would have been through the hotel's fire escape, which does provide access to the roof. But she would have had to have known about that. Maybe somebody would have helped her up there. I don't know. Apart from the question of how she got on the roof, others asked if she could have even gotten into the tank by herself. All 4 tanks are 4x8 foot cylinders propped up on concrete blocks, and there is no fixed access to them. And the hotel workers had to use a ladder to look at the water itself. They are protected by these heavy lids, just like you said earlier, that would have been super difficult for someone inside to have replaced. I mean, she's swimming around in water and she's going to close that herself. It doesn't make any sense. This is not an accidental drowning. It doesn't happen that way.
Nope.
Oops, accident. Now I'm going to close myself in.
No. And I don't know why the police would buy. I think the police were just like, we're not going to be able to get any evidence off of her. She's been in the water. And so, you know what? We just can't have this lingering around. It was accidental. She must have just fell in here. People get crazy in this hotel.
That's how they pursued it. I think that's exactly what happened because the history at the hotel, so many people died here. So many people have committed suicide that they were willing to just say, yes, she did this to herself. Why not? Right? It fits with the rest of the stories there. And like you said, lack of evidence.
Just an easy way out to close a case and not have to do any more work.
Yeah. The autopsy report and its conclusions have also been questioned. Even the coroner's pathologists appear to have been uncertain about their conclusion that Lam's death was accidental. One page of the report has a form with boxes to check as to whether the death was accidental, natural, homicide, suicide, or undetermined, in large type and a sufficient distance from one another. So the accident box is dated June 15th. However, 3 days later, the undetermined box was checked instead.
Yeah, because somebody was like, Greg, you can't say that. It's not accidental. I mean, she couldn't have got herself in there. We have no answer. It's not like she accidentally fell in this volcano because she could have tripped. You know, she fell in it, closed the lid, and, you know, her clothes were off. I mean, lots of just weird ass things. Maybe we should have marked this instead.
Yes, maybe. It's also really weird that it took them months to arrive at one answer, only to 3 days later be like, yeah, no, I still can't go with that one. We're going to go with undetermined. It was June 15th when they finally said that. And then this is months after she died. Yeah. Months after she was found.
I mean, I think that's them struggling with like trying to determine what will be the best answer for me to give that will cause the least amount of kind of drama afterwards. And then they were like, it's accidental. And somebody in the office was like, no. You know you can't say that. And they're like, fine. It's undetermined. And I mean, they knew it was undetermined all along, I believe. And they were just trying to take an easier way out that would cause less questions.
I don't even know if pathologists go into like what the police find. They just do their own research. And based on like how she was found, I could see if they're only going off of the body, they don't have any of the facts. They just have the body. It might appear to be an accidental drowning. Then maybe afterwards someone was like, man, she was found inside a tank that she couldn't have gotten into herself and the lid was closed onto it. And they're like, oh, all right, undetermined.
You left that part out. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no,
give me that.
I don't know how you can. I mean, like they had to have known where they pulled the body out when they brought it to them. How are you ever going to mark that accidental?
I don't know.
Like,
that doesn't make any sense.
You find a body in a lake and you found alcohol in their system or something like that, and then you can be like, oh, accidental. It looks like they fell in, you know, drunk.
We found the amount of alcohol in their system to be consistent with someone who was above average, drunk, swimming at night with their clothes on, accident, you know?
Yeah. Not in a tank on the top of a roof of a hotel.
Right. I want to go ahead and now that we're talking about it, but point out the fact that we still don't know if that rooftop pool exists.
Oh, she was trying to get up there and she's like, is this the pool?
Right.
It's awful small.
I did see in a video where they have the stairs built to the rooftop. So, I mean, maybe it was a plan. Maybe it's still in the plans. Maybe it's done. I don't know. Just saying, something that we'll have to look into ourselves whenever we go. Since her death, her Tumblr blog was updated, presumably through Tumblr's queue option, which allows posts to automatically publish themselves when the user is away. But her phone was not found either with her body or in her hotel room, and it was assumed to have been stolen at the time around her death. Whether the continued updates to her blog were facilitated by theft or, you know, of her phone through that queue that I mentioned is not known, nor is it known whether the updates are related to her death. I just put that in there because it's another piece of information that her phone was stolen or it was missing. Sure, she could have lost it, I suppose, but wouldn't she have said that to her parents or something? She was in constant communication with them. It seems like it was more likely to have been stolen, leading to, I don't think any of that was an accident.
Wait a minute. What year is this again? And they can't determine where these posts are coming from? Are you shitting me?
She had already loaded them on Tumblr and specified a date for it to release. She could have done that. They didn't investigate her personal one. They probably went and looked into Tumblr and how it works and confirmed that it could be done had she scheduled certain blogs come out on certain days. And I know that personally from our blogs. I could schedule them and it would do the same thing. I just don't have the time to write blogs anymore. But she had like all kinds of stuff.
No, speaking of blogs, you wrote 2 fucking blogs I didn't even know about.
Well, to be honest, my plan was to actually write one a week and have it updated before I said something to you so that you could be like, yay, Chris is actually doing her job. But I haven't had the chance to do that.
Yeah, bitch, get to work.
So I didn't want to tell you about it.
Like I'm some kind of mean boss or whatever that pushes you around. No. Okay. All right. Back to the story. Where are you on your story?
I'm actually just getting into the hauntings, which, there are apparently some hauntings going on at this time. I know that's strange. Can you believe it? This place actually has some paranormal activity going on. Can you see me? Am I sitting in? I can only see a snippet, and I only.
Yes. If you were completely, if I just saw like your nose up, I would tell you. When you moved it when you moved your webcam, I guess we'll say, the last time it did kind of just put it right at your chin.
Yeah.
Now it's a little below.
Okay.
Guess you don't want me looking at your goods.
A little bit of my neck. I could lower it. I just thought you'd like the background better than all of this.
You don't know me very well. No, I'm just like.
So, on to the hauntings.
Mm-hmm.
Many think that the paranormal activity at the Cecil is directly related to particular people that I've already mentioned and maybe a few others that I didn't. However, the general consensus is that the years of violence and deaths have deeply saturated this area, which has triggered this residue of paranormal activity, which persists within the walls of the hotel. One of the main complaints that I've read about is that guests often hear strange noises and experience poltergeist-like activity.
Ooh.
Which, yes, I know it. It seems to be present throughout the hotel, though many paranormal investigators going there are choosing to document the activity in like the known rooms, such as the Night Stalkers or Unterweger's room or even the Pigeon Lady's room.
I want to stay in the Pigeon Lady's room. I don't want to stay in the Night Stalker's room. I'll just tell you that.
You know, I totally, I see I feel that. But her room, you know, she was raped and murdered. Any of these rooms have got to have this heavy uneasiness going into them, you know, and her door, I couldn't even believe it. So they did this whole remodel of the hotel, but like the doors don't look like they were remodeled. It looks like the same damn doors that have been on each one of these rooms since the hotel was there. They're old. They've got dents in them. Oh. And you're at the door that goes into the Pigeon Lady's room. And it's like, who put all those dents in there? You know, was that the man that murdered this woman? Yeah. Why are there dents in her door? It's so fucking weird. Also, Elisa Lam is said to haunt the hotel and has been reached through spirit box sessions. While many attempts have been made to communicate with her about how she died, there are bleeps of words that come across in a woman's voice. So many suspect that it is her. And it's only just these bleeps. There's never a confirmation, you know, on how this happened, but it's always like words that indicate, you know, where she was, and who she is, who that they're speaking to, you know,
like water, roof, something like that. So where they know this is her, versus the Pigeon Lady or someone else. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Also, if she says house or that's because she's Canadian.
I love that. That's so funny.
It's just certain words that Canadians say that you're like, oh, they're Canadian as soon as they say it.
Okay. So back to the hauntings. I found a picture that was taken by an amateur photographer. In January 2014, Costin Alderette, a boy from Riverside, California, captured what appears to be an apparition haunting on the outside of the 4th floor window of the hotel.
Ooh, just like floating.
It looks weird. It almost looks like he's standing there, or she, whatever. You can't like make out the face. It's see-through. It looks like they might be exiting the building, but it definitely looks like, you know, you've got like the whole shoulder area, the head, the body. It's just that it's just invisible. It's not as clear as like, you know, the image of what's her face at the Myrtles, Chloe, you know, where her turban or her headdress and all of that, but you can make out like a body that shouldn't be on the outside of the building, you know?
That's freaky.
It is really strange, especially since the hotel is notorious for its jumpers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm.
But if you look at this photo, it does almost look like somebody is just like stalking, like he's this outside the window. That's when I first read that, I felt the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's got to be someone who's leaping out. It looks like somebody is like hanging outside the window, which is even fucking creepier. Ooh. Yeah. According to Alderette, who's the guy that took the picture here, After taking the spooky image, he's had difficulty sleeping and suffered nightmares as a result of the disturbing photograph.
We sympathize.
I totally do. Totally do. Also, something that I thought was a little creepy, because I mentioned I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube. One of the YouTubers, visited the hotel. It was her and her friend. She pointed out all of the mirrors that are everywhere in the hotel. The restaurant has a wall completely covered by mirrors. You'll see them like even throughout the hotel, basically on any free wall surface. And even inside the elevator, it's now covered with mirrors. She mentions that in some cultures, mirrors are actually thought to confuse spirits, that they would enter in through one mirror, but would become confused by other mirrors, and then they become trapped in that location. And well, we already know about mirrors and how they can create a portal if they're set up in, a particular way. Maybe the many mirrors throughout the hotel have helped to create the activity there, or maybe it's just that there are some of them that happen to be placed in that, manner where they're facing each other that's aided in something that can't leave. I thought that was just another weird, thing to notice while you're there at the hotel.
Yeah, no, that's really, really interesting because of the whole theory with mirrors and everything. And then the deaths that's happened at the hotel. It's like everyone's trapped there.
Everyone's trapped there. So that's actually it. Like there's a lot of haunting stuff going on there, but I didn't feel that you would benefit from me just going list after list after list of things. I kind of shortened it to let you know that there's poltergeist activity and there are things that people are hearing, while they're in those rooms.
Poltergeist activity sounds fun.
Right.
Not really scary.
There's a lot of doors that are opening and shutting on themselves on their own, things of that nature, things being moved and the weird noises that are being heard. So I cannot even stress how glad I am to be done with this story. I have to tell you, while I was researching this one, I had several nightmares of my own. I've never encountered anything like that while researching a story. This one bugged me so much. I told you about one of the nightmares that I had, but I didn't tell you about the others. And I don't think that it's the haunted activity here that really did it to me so much as it's the fact that the family lost the life of their daughter in such a mysterious way. The last time she was seen was posted all over social media, and millions of people have seen that strange video and have scrutinized over every detail, trying to make some logical sense out of it. It just crushes me that her family got the police involved immediately, and they even flew out to help with the search. And in the end, she was found in such a bizarre way that this alone was just very horrifying and real, and it haunted me a great deal. And again, I am so happy to be done with the story right now. Like, this is celebration time.
It's that is really an awful, horrible story, because you can imagine as a parent, we're both parents, and right. We are getting up there with our kids. We have teenagers that are going to graduate or be driving soon and all kinds of stuff. And you can't imagine that if your child is someone, which I will admit my youngest is definitely someone that needs some extra attention, and you have to watch over all your kids. But you're going to always worry about them too. But if you have a child like Elisa Lam, who was known on medication and everything, and then you're sending them off to be independent on their own, that must be what she needs. I mean, the post that she was putting before, she was obviously in a bad place, and she wanted to find herself, and she wanted to have kind of just like this independence and this spiritual movement in a way, like our awakening, and go off and just explore. And something that she loves is going to hit her, right? So the parents, if they're calling every day like that and they want her to call every day, then they're the type that are like, we don't really want you to leave, but could you please just call every day? I am like that with my kid. My oldest went to a play last night, and I said, you can go as long as you don't touch girls and do drugs or vape or smoke cigarettes, then, and don't be stupid. And just, I can't even let him go for 3 hours away from me because I'm terrified. They shut down the schools they didn't shut down the schools. They had a situation at one of the schools. It wasn't even his, just a month ago or whatever. You know, it's terrifying to be a parent. And they let their child go into this city. You got to live your life. They're letting go, and they're trying to keep tabs on her. And as soon as they felt something was wrong, they called the police, and it did no good. And then to watch what horrible thing that your child had to go through. And then to have people scrutinize the fuck out of it and accuse her, which might have been the case. Maybe she was off her meds and she was acting this way. I mean, I'm sure the parents would know what it's like for her to not be on her meds. She had to miss a pill every once in a while. Did it cause this kind of reaction? They would have known whether this was normal, but people not knowing her are going to say whatever. And then they have to listen and live through all of that. And they have to
deal with it. Exactly. It's just
awful.
Heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. And like I said, I really had a hard time with the story. And I don't have I don't know. I guess it's that parenting thing that came over me and just really having to feel all of that for them. It's traumatic and just devastating. And I felt so bad for her parents that had to go through that. And even though I said that I'm, terribly happy that I'm done with the story, I mentioned in the beginning that we started looking for answers to the unknown by going into the places that we shouldn't, armed with whatever equipment we could afford at the time, and away we went into the darkest hour of the night. We are by no means fearless people, but the search for answers compels us to continue looking. I'm not about to say that I wouldn't stay at this hotel, but I surely feel that some places are just so dark that they've earned the right to just be feared.
Agreed.
This is that place for me, you know?
Yeah.
This was that place for me.
Definitely agreed. But I know it sounds silly or whatever, but I think we've been doing this long enough. At first, it was a curiosity of, for me, I had an experience when I was a child that greatly affected me, and I ignored it then because it scared me so much because I'm chicken shit. But with you by my side, I'm willing to go out there and be like, knock, knock, knock. What's really going on here? What are you capable of doing? How does this happen? Can we make it happen? No, we can't. Oh, okay. And then just does it matter if the moon's a certain way? There's all these things you're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we found that we haven't found answers to any of that shit.
No, it's only given us more questions.
Sometimes they're very active and sometimes they're very not. And nothing seems to match up so much for us. For the most part, it's turned into where, like I said, staying in the pigeon lady's room. I know something awful happened to her, but maybe we can help her. Maybe we can help her come to terms with it. Maybe we can help her find her killer. She can give us some answers. And not that a police would actually listen to us, but, it's been a long time to just to get it out there and to have some kind of resolution that someone's listening to her. So these tragic, horrible places, we don't giggle and laugh and get excited about somebody's horrible death. For us, it's I want to go to there because I want to help if I can. I know I'm nobody. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a detective. I mean, I'd like to think I'm a detective.
Right. Well, we said that before. We're closet paranormal. We're closet detectives.
For sure. Okay, so I'm not a police officer. I'm not a police officer. But I'm not afraid to try to communicate with you. And I brought my little fun devices. If you'd like to leave us a message, then we're going to share that with everybody. And we're going to try to get your message out. And I think that a lot of the time is maybe all that they want.
Just to be heard. I agree. Yeah. I mean, especially in a situation like this where there was so many tragedies, I think that the spirits that remain are probably just wanting to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, all the suicides and stuff like that. You want them to know that, I'm really sorry you felt like this was the only way, but if there's any way that I could help you, if they're still lingering. I mean, if they went to the other side and they got peace from it, then so be it. But if they're still lingering, they're probably still hurting. So,
or it's a darker entity that's there altogether because of all of the bad shit that's really gone on there. Either way, I would still want to go to the hotel and investigate it. Either way, we're helping somebody or we're just putting more information out there for others to know what they're actually getting themselves into when they get to this hotel.
Yeah, also that too, because we've said that before. We're a travel podcast for paranormal investigators.
For sure.
We go to famous locations to tell you the truth about it.
Well, I have one more fact to share with you about this place. This is a weird one. I had to put it in here. So on March 27th of 1987, the band U2 performed an impromptu live concert on the rooftop of a one-story building on the corner of 7th and Main in downtown Los Angeles, which happened to be right next door to the Cecil Hotel. The performance with the Cecil Hotel, featured as the backdrop, was filmed and commercially released as a music video for the band's hit song, Where the Streets Have No Name. I was immediately excited because I love 80s music. I'm not going to lie about that. That's like my favorite. U2 isn't at the top of my list, but hey, I do like some U2 music anyways. But when I read that, I thought, that's so strange because Dorothy Purcell tossed her baby out of a window of the Cecil and it landed on the rooftop of an adjacent building. How fucking creepy is that, right? That U2 was standing on the same building.
That's just sad, really. Like,
I know. I was hoping to leave it on like a high note with the whole U2 thing, but then I was like, I have to say this.
No, it's just like they were standing where a baby died.
They didn't know, but isn't that creepy? I mean, you don't know where the places you go. Like in a past podcast that I did, people are going to the post office all the time just to get their mail or whatever. And that was where a murder castle once was. But, there's people don't know. They don't. They're just doing their day-to-day thing. And U2, they probably got a good deal on this location to film with, the Cecil as the backdrop. And they're like,
and nobody told them, I'm certain.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they're into like reading stuff like Wikipedia, they know now.
They know, yeah.
They are well aware of it now.
Really mad at their manager.
I know. How could you do that to me?
What I was gonna say, we go to the Cecil Hotel. We're taking the stairs the whole time. We're not getting in the demon elevator.
Yeah, we have to, because some things that I've seen, it doesn't seem like even now that the elevator acts right. And also other people report weird shit, man. Just like they will be on the 5th floor doing their thing and don't even realize that they've somehow gotten to like the 7th floor. Don't remember taking any stairs or elevators, but suddenly they're on the 7th floor. I don't know if these people were on drugs or what. How do you lose time like that? But they're just seeing weird shit is happening, right? Exactly. Could be. Could be all the mirrors confused them. Or, I don't know, creepy fucking elevators.
Oh, no. Yeah, we're not getting in that elevator, for sure. We're going to take the stairs and hope that the doors don't get locked by demons.
Right? I've seen too many horror movies where something happens in the elevator anyways to have watched this and her doing weird things around an elevator that I'll be perfectly fine if I have to take the stairs from now on.
Yeah.
I am not interested in elevators.
We need some exercise. That's fine. That's fine.
Totally
there may not be, there's not, they probably never put that gym in, so.
Right. Yeah. Going for it. Yeah, they probably never put that gym in.
No.
So lots of ideas for you guys who are listening to this podcast to go scouring YouTube over, right? I've said that there's tons of shit out there. You'll probably want to go and look for it. I'll try to figure out a way to download the video of Elisa Lam getting in and out of this elevator because it is very strange.
I totally thought you were about to say of Bono, like a of YouTube
pictures of that
video.
Oh, I might.
And I was like, oh, is she really? Oh, that's exciting. Oh, I don't think we can though.
Oh shit! Well, damn. Let me rewrite this.
Some royalties. But of her video, it's so heartbreaking.
It is, and I don't. Like I said, I don't know if I can. I might just be able to take pictures of her in the, doing her thing in the elevator and outside of the elevator. And I can post those pictures on social media. I don't know if I can do the video, but
We will try so that you can draw your own conclusion and offer any additional information, because the whole fuzzy timeline thing is also very weird. Like, after all the deaths in this hotel, why would they try to cover up this one? I mean, is there a serial killer in the basement they're hiding? Like, why? Why would the security guard mess with the tape to make somebody look innocent? I mean, to make it look like she was by herself.
No, so I don't think that the security guard would have done anything to the tape. The police actually got a hold of it and released it to the public, so they would have edited it for public to see and only see what they want you to see. So if they had got this tape and questioned the shit out of some guy that had nothing to do with it, they're going to cut him out because they don't want you to draw your own conclusion. Well, this is who she's talking to. This is the guy that's, after her. Why aren't they after him? So that could be why.
Yeah, but it was weeks before they even knew her body was there and the police were involved. Somebody in the hotel could have edited the tape and destroyed the other one.
I guess they could have. Yeah, I guess
it could be either or, hiding something. But why?
Yeah.
But why? It's already a notorious ass hotel. And right. I don't think that, some future presidential candidate was staying at this hotel and involved. What's the conspiracy here?
Right, exactly. What is the conspiracy here? That is the question. Why was the time
just invisible entities that are attacking her?
That's what I'm saying. You got to see this video if you haven't. It's weird. The first time you see it, you're like, what? And then you watch it again, then you watch it again, then you watch it again. And you just start I don't know, just becoming involved with things that aren't really there in the video, but your brain wants you to think that they are because she's acting so erratically and strange. You're like, why is she doing that? Why is she feeling around in the elevator? What did she see that made her go and feel around as if something was there? I mean, it's so weird. It's just so weird. Like other people have said, it seems like, okay, so yes, as we've mentioned, the time stamp is definitely blurred out so you can't see it. They feel like there are minutes of the video that have been cut out. I couldn't tell that. I only watched that video 20 times and I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. It is what it is. I will try my best to add whatever I can to social media. I can definitely add the picture that Costin Alderette took.
Oh, I can't wait to see that then.
Right? That one's spooky. And then just other pictures of the hotel. I'll definitely put those on social media. Our Instagram page is COTN_paranormal. And Facebook and Twitter is COTN Paranormal. So check us out for those pictures. If you don't want to have your parents seeing that you're on YouTube or I don't know,
your parents.
Weird stuff, we'll do the Google searching for you. Yeah, I know.
Are listening to our show. Also, we have a Creatures of the Night Paranormal at gmail.com. If you want to email us any stories, have you stayed at the Cecil Hotel? That's very interesting. If you've got anything to share, or if you just want to share any stories with us, please let us know. If you don't want us sharing your name, because we definitely will, because we're just stupid like that. I don't know. It's not stupid. I mean, we're just like, hey, our best friend, Linda Lou, she sent us the thing. And then Linda's like, oh my God, I didn't want my parents to know. Anyways, definitely put that disclaimer in there or whatever. And then also, if you want a t-shirt, you need to go to our website, creaturesofthenight.paranormal.com, and go under products. Our t-shirts are listed there. And then also Etsy shop. And that's under the Spirit Emporium, our spiritual shop. That's how we cleanse ourselves from all these bad feelings that these stories give us.
Definitely need to do that. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I've got. I got to go and sage my house and myself and... God, because
that bad taste out of your mouth. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah,
that was a rough one.
It's definitely horrible. But thank you for sharing. It's definitely a hotel that has been on my mind and on my list. I hope it's not in Skid Row anymore, right? Has the neighborhood gotten better?
I hope so. I didn't even know, I grew up watching 80s movies, of course. Little Shop of Horrors was always my favorite. And, as soon as I saw that this was in Skid Row, I was like, yes, I love Little Shop of Horrors. They do a whole song and dance about Skid Row. And I'm like, that's still even a place at this point?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope it's not still the Skid Row. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out.
Okay, I'm game. I love California. We can go anytime. Anytime, no elevators, deal.
No elevators, done.
What if only one of us get on the elevator and the other one waits to see if they survive?
We don't do things well as individuals. We need to keep togetherness going.
Deal. I'm with you. Okay. Dumb idea.
All right.
Move on. All right. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.